Episode 43. Serena, you are so disgusting. Coach Dean's face was covered in blood. He struggled to get up and begged weakly, "Mr. Robinson, please forgive me. I have a family to feed. My wife and kid cannot live without me." Jake's eyes were as cold as ice. "You abandoned your family for just $1 million. Why do you think I should believe you?" Coach Dean was stunned. He had not mentioned one word about the $1 million. So how did Jake find out? "Who asked you to hurt her?" "I had no idea. Yesterday, someone suddenly called me and asked that I take a few friends to gangbang." However, before he finished the sentence, Jake clenched his fists again. Coach Dean screamed and stepped back. A man next to Jake kicked him down and said, "Keep talking." "He asked me to do that to Serena and promised to give me $5 million afterwards. $1 million was paid as a down payment. But I don't know who that is. He knows my bank account and my name, as well as my criminal record. I just can't refuse." As much of a hunk as Coach Dean was, he started to cry and beg. "Is that a woman?" "A man. He sounded young. In his 20s, probably." When Miranda walked in, everyone was staring at her. As smart and capable as she was, Miranda felt a bit creeped out. Handing the information she had found to Jake, Miranda said, "I just found out that the bank account that transferred the $1 million to Dean Lewis is registered in a small town. It is 20-plus hours drive from Austin. However, the phone number used to call him is owned by an old blind guy, whose phone was stolen yesterday and then returned to him mysteriously." Coach Dean felt terrified. He was suddenly involved in the fight of the celebrities and a crime. What bad luck. Jake laughed coldly. He gazed at Coach Dean and asked Miranda slowly, "So there was no clue?" Miranda felt a bit creeped out. Although she had been used to his temper, it was the first time she had seen him like this. "Well, there is definitely going to be something. However, we haven't found anything yet." Seeing Jake slowly walking toward Coach Dean, Miranda spoke lower and lower. Looking down at Coach Dean, Jake asked, "Have you ever felt desperate?" "What?" "Take him to the port. I'll sail the boat myself." The soldier next to Jake shivered and hesitated. "Mr. Robinson, are you sure you're going to do this?" "What do you think?" Jake asked slowly, looking murderous. "Yes, sir." Half an hour later, in mysterious waters, a rope was tied on the waist of Coach Dean, while its other end was tied on the tail of a yacht. Jake threw a piece of fresh meat into the sea, and the fins of sharks soon appeared on the quiet waters. Coach Dean's heart sank inch by inch. He was suddenly reminded of what Jake had just said. Have you ever felt desperate? The night was still young. Her fingers digging deep into the blanket under her body. Serena was soaked in sweat. She felt acute pain in her lower stomach, as if something was slipping through her fingers silently. This feeling was both familiar and disturbing. She could still hear what everyone had said to her in her previous lifetime. "Bitch, you fell down the stairs deliberately to frame my Lila? You think people are going to believe you?" "What an evil woman. The baby is 2 months old and has a heartbeat already. But it is unlucky enough to have such a mother." "Serena, I did not expect you to be so treacherous. In order to incriminate Lila, you killed your own baby." Everyone was pointing fingers at her, and everyone was casting disgusted looks at her. Grandpa was completely disappointed in her. Her mother-in-law loathed her, and even her father-in-law treated her coldly. The Clark family also blamed her for everything, No one knew that Lila was the one who pushed her. No one believed it. She deserved it. Jake is mine. Mine! Lila was smiling contently, holding the arm of Jake in the fire. Suddenly, Jake opened his eyes and cursed Serena coldly. Disgusting! Serena, you are so disgusting! Her heart was wrenched. She stared at Lila and Jake, wanting to escape. However, she could not move or make a sound. Seeing more and more people coming toward her, cursing and pointing fingers, she heard everyone saying the same thing. Disgusting! 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 No! It was not me! Jake was half asleep next to her bed and suddenly heard her weak cry. Desperate and helpless, he caught her swinging hands, and she squeezed his fingers hard, as if she had found a savior. It's okay. Jake comforted her in a low voice, holding her hand. He used his other hand to wipe away the sweat on her forehead, extremely gentle. He had no idea that he had it in him. Her face covered in tears, Serena slowly opened her eyes. She immediately saw Jake's hand. His hand was rough, with some calluses. It was dark, probably 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Serena moved his hand away to look at the handsome face behind it. The light was off. However, his presence was still overwhelming to her. You're awake. Jake saw that she was dazed and asked, Do you need some water? Serena stared at him. Familiar face and familiar expression. However, his tone was completely different. Who is this? Jake? She must be in a dream. How could Jake ever talk to her so gently? In addition, how could he stay around her at this time of the day? Not getting a response from her, Jake poured her a glass of lukewarm water and placed it on the table. Then, he slowly helped her up, as if he was afraid to hurt her, whispering, Are you feeling okay?